You are the keeper of this silent place. This is the Pulse Runner's Relay, the last human outpost for 1,000 light years. For 5 years, the steady hum of its core has been your only friend. It is a song of contained power, a lullaby of stable physics. Your watch is a quiet one, a solitary vigil in the unending, velvet dark. This station is your universe, a sphere of engineered gravity and recycled air. You know every corridor, every maintenance hatch, every single blinking light on the endless panels. You have given them names. The green light on the life support is Bob. Bob is reliable. The yellow flicker on the nutrient dispenser is Susan. She is temperamental. Your morning routine is a simple ritual. You float from your sleep pod to the command center. The journey takes 30 seconds. You sip a pouch of nutrient paste. It claims to be savory chicken flavor. You think it tastes more like disappointment and cardboard. But it keeps you alive. It is a small price for this view. Outside your viewport, the cosmos unfolds. A river of amethyst and gold nebula flows past. It is a sight that has never grown old. You run the morning diagnostics, your fingers dancing over familiar controls. A chorus of green lights responds. Bob is happy. The relay is healthy. The gate at its heart is stable, ready to connect the stars. This network is humanity's lifeline. These gates are our star-spanning arteries. They carry ships, they carry data, they carry hope. Your job is to be the gatekeeper, the watchman, the janitor for a machine the size of a small moon. It is a simple job, most days. A peaceful existence on the very edge of everything. You lean back in your command chair. The gentle gravity holds you in place. The silence of deep space presses in on the viewport. It is a silence you have grown to love. It is the sound of peace, of solitude, of another day beginning just like the last. You close your eyes for a moment, enjoying the quiet hum, a quiet that is about to be broken forever. A new light blinks on your console. It is not Bob. It is not Susan. It is a deep, angry red, a light you have only ever seen in simulations. The long-range scanner has found something. Not a stray asteroid, not a ghost from a solar flare. You lean forward, your heart suddenly pounding against your ribs. The peace of your little world is shattered. The signal is wrong. It is impossibly fast. It is impossibly large. It is not following any known travel lane. It is simply coming, straight for you. Before your mind can even catch up to the terrifying data, they arrive. They do not appear with a flash of warp engines. They do not tear through hyperspace. They simply slice a hole in the fabric of reality. And they pour through. A fleet of blades darkens the distant stars. They are not ships in any sense you understand. They are knives. Shards of polished, midnight black obsidian. Hundreds of them. No, thousands. They move with a predator's grace. A silent, disciplined swarm. They are a monument to a power you cannot comprehend. No broadcast, no hailing frequencies. Just a sudden, overwhelming presence that screams hostility. Your console shrieks. Proximity alerts wail like banshees. The station's automated defense systems, your turrets and interceptors, wake up. They are designed to scare off pirates. Maybe disable a malfunctioning freighter. They are toys. Facing this, they are nothing but toys. You watch as they fire, pathetic streams of light splashing uselessly against unseen shields. The enemy fleet arranges itself with chilling, geometric precision. They form a perfect lattice around your station, a cage of warships built from darkness itself. You are the specimen in the jar. They are the scientists, ready to begin their dissection. You swallow hard, the nutrient paste feeling like a stone in your stomach. The silence you once cherished is now a heavy blanket of dread. Their first move is coming. You can feel it. Your comms panel explodes, not with sound, with pressure. A wave of pure information slams into your mind. It is a violation, a trespass against the private sanctuary of your own thoughts. Then, a voice. It is not a voice of sound waves and air. It is a voice of pure concept, cold, jagged, absolute. You understand every word, though it is spoken in no language you have ever heard. The voice grinds against your consciousness. It has the weight and texture of a collapsing mountain. It is the voice of a being that has never been told no, a being that has never known failure or doubt. It names itself. Commander of the Vorlag Swarm. The name itself feels like a bruise on your memory. It carries an echo of a billion screams. The demand is simple, brutal, uncompromising. You will surrender the Pulse Runner's relay. You will transmit the master control codes for the entire network. You will lower your non-existent shields and prepare to be boarded. You will give them the keys to humanity's front door. If you comply, the voice promises, your life will be spared. A footnote in their glorious conquest. If you refuse, the promise is just as simple. Your station will be scoured to atoms. Your star will be snuffed out like a candle. They do not make threats. They state facts. Annihilation is not a negotiation tactic. It is just another tool in their arsenal. A tool they use with the casual indifference of a farmer pulling weeds. A countdown timer appears on your main screen. A final, arrogant insult. It starts at 5 minutes. A glowing red reminder of your impending choice. Servitude or oblivion. The commander's presence recedes from your mind, leaving behind a lingering chill. You are alone again, with the hum of your station. But now, it sounds like a ticking clock. You stare at the timer. 4 minutes and 37 seconds remain. Your training kicks in, the protocols for a hostile contact event. Step 1. Send a hyper-encrypted distress call through the deepest, most secret channel. Inform command that the relay is compromised, that the enemy is at the gate. Step 2. Erase all critical data. Step 3. Abandon station in the single emergency pod and run. That is the smart play. The logical, survivable play. But the memory of that voice, that cold, arrogant presence in your mind, it did not just leave a chill, it left a spark, a tiny, hot ember of pure, unadulterated human rage. They did not just threaten your station. They violated your mind. They looked at your entire species and dismissed it as an inconvenience. They think you are just a janitor, a simple keeper of a simple machine. They are wrong. You know a secret buried so deep in the station's architecture that even high command has forgotten it. A final, desperate failsafe. The what if God has a bad day protocol. The Pulse Runner's relay is more than a gateway. It is a peerless work of energy manipulation. And any masterpiece can be turned into a weapon, a truly spectacular weapon. The timer on your screen ticks past 3 minutes. They are waiting for your terrified compliance. They are expecting a whimper. You will give them a roar. You open a comms channel, not to command, not to the escape pod. You open a direct, wide beam channel to the Vorlag flagship. The commander's mental presence snaps back into your thoughts, a feeling of smug expectation radiating from it. You have your answer ready. You form the word in your mind. Then you speak it aloud into the silence of your command center. Number the word leaves your lips and is broadcast across the void. A single syllable of defiance. A declaration of war from an army of one. The commander's presence recoils, not in anger, but in genuine surprise. It is a reaction you savor. For a brief moment, you have thrown the mountain off balance. Silence is your answer. A profound, heavy silence. The countdown timer on your screen vanishes. They are recalculating. The mouse did not run. It squeaked. Now you have to find some teeth. You bought yourself a few precious minutes. Time to get to work. You spin your command chair, the motion jerky and the fluctuating gravity. You face a secondary console, a panel that has been dark and dormant for your entire 5-year watch. It has no label, no instructions. It is the station's forbidden heart. This is the manual override for the core systems, the soul of the machine. You press your palm flat against its cold, dark screen. A network of faint blue lines spreads from your hand. The panel glows to life, recognizing your biosignature, recognizing your authority as keeper. An intricate web of energy schematics floods the display. This is the real power of the relay. The power they do not know about. The power you were forbidden from ever touching. Your plan is certifiably insane. It has a 99% chance of killing you. But it has a 1% chance of working. The relay functions by creating and containing a stable singularity. An artificial, microscopic black hole. It bends space-time just enough to open a door. Your plan is to rip the door off its hinges, and then throw the hinges at the enemy. You are not going to contain the singularity. You are going to weaponize it. You will overload the magnetic containment fields. You will bypass every safety protocol. You will pump every last joule of the station's vast energy reserves directly into its core. You will turn the heart of the relay into a directed, focused eruption of spatial distortion. A cannon that fires reality itself. It is a plan with absolutely zero margin for error. And you, the station janitor, are about to try and pull it off. The Vorlag are clearly not accustomed to refusal. A single, smaller ship detaches from the silent, waiting fleet. It is a scout, longer and thinner than the others, like a stiletto needle. It glides toward your station, its movements slick and confident. Its intent is obvious. It expects a soft, yielding target. It expects you to be cowering in a corner, waiting for the end. Your automated turrets, bless their tiny mechanical hearts, fire again. Streams of coherent light and plasma bolts splash harmlessly against the scout's shimmering shields. It is like throwing pebbles at a battleship. The scout does not even bother to return fire. It is enjoying this. It is savoring your weakness. It is probing your defenses. You smile grimly. It is time for their first proper lesson in human history. Never underestimate the underdog. You spin to a tertiary control panel, the one marked Station Maintenance and Sanitation. You bring up the schematics for the micrometeoroid defense grid. It is a series of small, automated mass drivers. They are designed to fire tiny, gram-sized pellets of iron to intercept space dust and small rocks. They are utterly, laughably useless against a shielded warship. Unless you get creative. And right now, creativity is your only ammunition. You find the power conduit for the dorsal turret array, the one the scout ship is ignoring. With a few frantic commands, you sever its connection to the turrets. You create a new, direct pipeline of energy. You pour the power of a warship's cannon into a single, tiny mass driver. The system screams with overload warnings. You ignore them. Then, you override the ammunition feed. Instead of a tiny iron pellet, you tell it to load something else. A full canister of industrial waste coolant. A 500-kilogram slug of frozen, hyper-dense chemicals. A giant, angry ice cube. You manually aim the jury-rigged cannon. The targeting computer is sluggish, unaccustomed to this much power. You lead the target. You hold your breath, and you fire. The station shudders as the mass driver discharges. A silent, silver streak crosses the void. The slug of frozen coolant travels at a significant fraction of light speed. It hits the scout ship dead center. Its powerful shields flare brilliantly, and then collapse under the sheer kinetic force. The slug, now vaporized into a cloud of expanding gas, punches through the unshielded hull. The scout tumbles away, crippled and venting atmosphere. A small victory, but a very, very loud one. The wounded scout ship does not return fire. It just drifts. Broken, it limps back towards the main fleet like a wounded animal. The great Vorlag armada remains silent. Motionless. They are thinking. They are reassessing. The little flesh being in the metal can is not behaving according to their predictive models. You have their full, undivided attention. You decide now is the time to double down on the crazy. You open another wide-beam communication channel. You do not send words this time. No more defiance. No more threats. You send something far more confusing. You search the station's historical archives. A database of old Earth culture you downloaded to fight the boredom. You find the perfect file. You cue it up, and you press play. The opening chords of a classical symphony blast out across the space between fleets. Beethoven's Fifth. Loud, triumphant, defiant. The sound of fate knocking at the door. They will not understand the notes. They will have no context for the melody. It is not a language. It is not a data packet. It is art. It is 100 musicians playing their hearts out across 3 centuries of time. It is pure, unadulterated human confidence translated into sound. It is a message that says, we are not afraid of the dark. We have faced the abyss before. We have stared into it and written songs about what we saw. It is a gesture of glorious, beautiful, and probably foolish arrogance. Across the silent darkness, you can almost feel their confusion. You picture their sharp, alien minds trying to decipher the meaning. Their analysts searching for a threat in the harmonic patterns, looking for a hidden code in the crescendos. But there is none. There is only a statement. The janitor is still on duty. The lights are still on. And he has excellent taste in music. The final notes of the symphony fade away. Silence returns. A silence that is now full of their uncertainty. The music was a magnificent bluff. The bravest lie you have ever told. Now, the adrenaline from your small victory begins to fade. Your hands are shaking. The cold reality of your situation floods back in. You are one man, in a tin can, against a fleet that darkens the stars. You have to work faster. You have to make the bluff real. You turn back to the dark console, back to the station's soul. The real work begins now. The symphony is over. The opera is about to begin. You are no longer a janitor. You are a surgeon performing open-heart surgery on a sleeping god. Streams of complex code flow across the holographic screen. You are rewriting the fundamental operating system of the station, bypassing safety protocols that have been hardwired for centuries, disabling governors and limiters designed to prevent exactly what you are doing. Each line of code is a prayer. Each command is a gamble. A single misplaced comma could detonate the core right here, right now. The station groans around you. The familiar, friendly hum has changed its tune. It is now a strained, painful whine, the sound of a machine being pushed far beyond its limits. Lights flicker and die in the command center. You rerouted their power to the core. The artificial gravity sputters. You float for a moment, then slam back down into your chair. That power is needed for the magnetic containment. Even the air is thinning. The recyclers are struggling. Power from life support is being siphoned away. Every second is a lifetime. Every minute is an eternity. You are in a desperate race against the inevitable. The Vorlag are not stupid. They are planning their real attack. You can feel their patience wearing thin out there in the dark. A storm of unimaginable violence is gathering. And you are standing in the middle of an open field, trying to build a lightning rod that is also a superweapon. You just have to finish before the first bolt of lightning strikes. Your time is up. The music has faded. The taunts have been delivered. The time for games is over. The Vorlag fleet moves. Not one ship, not a handful. The entire armada surges forward as one. Dozens of those obsidian warships advance on your position. On their surfaces, weapon ports slide open. They glow with a sickening purple-black energy. This is not a probe. This is not a test. This is the full, overwhelming onslaught. This is the storm, and it has broken. Your screens flash from green to red. Warnings scream for your attention, but you cannot spare it. The first barrage hits. Beams of coherent, destructive energy slam into your station's shields. The entire structure groans, a deep, metallic scream of protest. The command center shudders violently with each impact. Consoles spark, their screens going dark. A shower of sparks erupts from a ceiling conduit. The main lights go out, plunging you into a terrifying, flickering darkness. Only the ghostly blue light of the core interface remains. Your shields, once the pride of the system, are failing. The integrity percentage on your display plummets. 90%, 80, 75. They are systematically tearing you apart, piece by bloody piece. You can feel each blow resonate through the deck plates, a physical punch to your entire body. This is what annihilation feels like. A slow, methodical, and brutally efficient demolition. You force yourself to ignore it. You block out the noise, the shaking, the smell of burning electronics. You focus only on the code. Your fingers fly across the holographic keyboard, a blur of motion. Almost there. The final sequence of commands needs to be uploaded. The core needs to be fully primed. But the damage is mounting too quickly. They are going to crack you open like a nut before you are ready. The station cries out one last time. And then a new alarm. Louder, more final. A tremendous, deafening explosion rocks the station. The whole structure lurches sideways. A proximity alarm you have only ever seen in training simulations blares a continuous, jarring siren. Hull breach, Sector Gamma. That is the main engineering section. Right next to a primary power conduit for the core. They found a weak point, a vulnerability in your shield harmonics. They are no longer just knocking on the door. They are inside the house. The Vorlag do not send soldiers of flesh and blood. They send machines. You see them on the flickering internal sensor displays. Dozens of them. Fast-moving contacts. They are horrors of glistening metal and crackling energy. Multi-legged drones built for one purpose: destruction. They are cutting through the corridors with terrifying speed. And they are heading straight for the main reactor. If they sever that connection, your insane plan fails. You will be a dead man in a dead station. You have no weapons in here. No security team. No Marines. There is only you and the station itself. You bring up the environmental control panel for Sector Gamma. With a few keystrokes, you seal the heavy blast doors on either end of the corridor they occupy. You have trapped them. For now. Then you access the station's fire suppression system. Not the foam, not the water sprinklers. You access the emergency halon gas reserve. a chemical agent designed to starve any fire of oxygen. You flood the sealed corridors with the gas. The drones, being machines, are immune to poison. But you are not trying to poison them. You are changing the very nature of the atmosphere around them. Then, you find what you are looking for on the engineering schematics: a damaged power line severed in the initial attack. It is sparking wildly, throwing arcs of raw energy into the hallway. You give it one final, massive surge of power. A single beautiful spark in a hallway saturated with flammable, oxygen-displacing gas. The resulting explosion is magnificent. The sensor feed for Sector Gamma goes completely dark. You just weaponized the air itself. One problem solved. 1,000 more to go. You have bought yourself another precious moment. But the station is dying. The main shields are gone. The hull integrity is critical. Red lights are flashing everywhere. The Vorlag flagship itself, a monstrous vessel 10 times the size of the others, is now moving. It is gliding out from the center of its fleet. It is coming to deliver the final killing blow. It is now or never. The code is finished. The sequence is ready. You look at the final command prompt on the blue screen. A single, simple word is all that stands between now and the end. Execute. This is the ultimate point of no return. Once you press this, the cascade will be irreversible. The station's heart will begin the process of its own spectacular death. There is no off switch. You take a single, ragged breath of the thin, metallic air. You think of Earth, a pale blue dot you have not seen in years. You think of the billions of people living their lives, utterly unaware of the silent watchmen standing guard at the edge of their world. You think of that cold, arrogant voice in your head. And the choice becomes the only choice you could ever make. Your finger trembles as it hovers over the holographic prompt. The station groans again, a final, mournful cry of protest. As if it knows its time has come. It has been your home, your friend, and now you must be its executioner. You close your eyes and push the final sequence into motion. The prompt vanishes. A new status appears on the screen in stark, white letters. Terminal overload initiated. The heart of the relay has begun to die. The station shudders violently, a final death spasm. All the lights are gone for good. You are running on the last dregs of emergency battery power. Every remaining joule of energy is being funneled into the singularity at the station's core. The overload has begun, but it needs time. Time to build to a critical, unstoppable mass. Time you do not have. You need to stop them from firing. You need to draw the big one in closer. You need to bait the trap. You access the station's last remaining external system, the holographic emitters. You project an image into the void outside. A massive, shimmering white flag of surrender. The universal symbol of defeat. It is a pathetic, desperate gesture. Exactly what they would expect from a broken, beaten enemy. A final, cowardly act. Then, you cut all power to your remaining useless defenses. The last of the automated turrets falls silent. The final, flickering shield emitters go dark. You make the station appear utterly dead. A helpless, floating coffin. You are dangling the worm on the hook, praying the fish is arrogant enough to bite. It works. The Vorlag fleet ceases its barrage. The flagship, that monstrous obsidian beast, glides forward. Its commander wants a front-row seat for your final moments. It wants to watch your station die up close. It is a gesture of ultimate contempt. And it is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. It moves into position for the killing shot. Directly in front of the station, right into the optimal kill zone. It is exactly where you need it to be. A new timer appears on the glowing blue interface. It starts at 10 seconds. The overload is reaching its absolute peak. The singularity is tearing at its containment fields. The low hum of the station has been replaced by a deafening, soul-shaking roar. It is the sound of physics being torn apart, the scream of raw, untamed power about to be unleashed. The Vorlag commander's voice returns to your mind. It is dripping with smug, triumphant satisfaction. Your pathetic defiance was pointless, it thinks at you. Your species is an insignificant flicker. Now you will be extinguished. You smile in the darkness of your dying command center. You have one last message for him, one final, perfect reply. You wanted the gate, you transmit, your voice calm. You can have it. The timer hits 9, 8, 7. The very fabric of space around the station begins to warp and shimmer. Light from the distant stars bends and distorts as if seen through flawed glass. 6, 5, 4. A corona of pure, white-hot energy erupts from the station's central ring, bathing the void in an ethereal glow. 3, 2, 1. You close your eyes and unleash the station's full, unbound power. The singularity's containment fields fail catastrophically. The overloaded core detonates. It is not an explosion of fire and shrapnel. It is a silent, terrifying wave of pure energy. A tsunami of rewritten reality. The Pulse Runner's relay sings its final, beautiful song. It is a song of creation and of utter, absolute destruction. The wave of pure energy expands outwards at nearly the speed of light. A silent, perfect circle of white. It hits the Vorlag flagship first. The monstrous ship does not explode. It does not burn or melt. It simply ceases to exist. It is unwritten from the laws of the universe, erased from the page of existence. The wave continues its silent, relentless journey, washing over the entire enemy fleet. One by one, the obsidian blades vanish into nothingness. The perfect geometric lattice of warships dissolves like sugar in water. The swarm is gone. The sky is clear again. The only evidence they were ever here is the sudden, profound, and deafening silence. The energy storm passes, leaving a clean, empty void in its wake. There is nothing left but the stars. You are floating in your command chair. The station is gone, annihilated, all except this single, torn piece of the command center, ripped from its moorings and thrown clear by the blast. A tiny, metal lifeboat in an endless, black sea. The energy wave was directional, focused forward. You were behind the blast point, shielded by the immense mass of the station itself. It was a calculated, desperate risk, the only one you had left. You are alive, battered, bruised, adrift in a dead metal coffin with a cracked viewport. Your suit's emergency beacon is active, powered by a tiny, failing battery. But you are alive. You look out at the field of stars, no longer obscured by an alien armada. You are alone again. But this time, the silence does not feel lonely. It feels like victory. Hours pass. Or maybe it is days. Time has lost its meaning in the confines of your crippled cockpit. The emergency battery in your suit is almost dead. The beacon's steady ping is growing faint. The thin, fragile hope you had clung to is starting to fade along with it. You did it. You won. You saved them all. But no one will ever know. The hero of the relay will die a silent, anonymous death. You close your eyes, ready for the long, quiet end. A peaceful rest for the janitor who fought a war and won. But then, a new sound. Not from your dying console, not from your own imagination. A sound from outside, a sharp, clear ping. A friendly signal cuts through the static of your helmet receiver. An IFF tag. Human. You force your tired eyes open. Your gaze drifts to the cracked viewport. A light. A single bright light is growing steadily larger against the backdrop of stars. It resolves into the familiar, beautiful, blocky shape of a Terran Federation cruiser. The cavalry. According to the schedules, they are not supposed to be in this sector for another 6 months. But they are here. Their comms crackle to life over your suit's short-range receiver, bypassing your dead console. A warm, human voice, full of disbelief. Pulse Runner Relay, this is the cruiser Aegis. We received your symphony and came to investigate. The voice is filled with awe. We are reading nothing. The hostile fleet is gone. Can you confirm? You manage a weak, cracked smile. A real smile this time. Affirmative, Aegis, you reply, your voice hoarse and barely a whisper. The janitor cleaned up a bit of a mess. A long pause on the other end. Then, the voice again, thick with emotion. Understood, Keeper. We're bringing you home.